Let's break down tariffs. Those taxes countries slap on imports. Tariffs are one of the oldest tools in the economic playbook, dating back centuries. They're essentially a fee that governments charge on goods coming in from other countries. The idea is simple: make foreign products more expensive, so people are more likely to buy things made at home. But in practice, tariffs can get complicated fast, especially in today's interconnected world. Imagine a cover charge for foreign goods, making them pricier so American products look like a better deal. When you walk into a dealership and see a German car costing thousands more than a similar American model, that's the tariff at work. It's like a referee tilting the field to give the home team an edge. The goal? To encourage shoppers to pick domestic brands, boosting local businesses and jobs. President Trump sees tariffs as a way to level the playing field, especially with countries like Germany, whose cars flood American roads. He's argued that other countries have taken advantage of the U.S. for years, selling us their goods while making it harder for American products to compete abroad. For Trump, tariffs are a way to fight back, to show trading partners that the U.S. won't be pushed around. He's made tariffs a signature part of his economic strategy, promising they'll bring jobs back and revive American manufacturing. Supporters cheer this tough talk, seeing it as a way to restore lost industries and protect American workers from unfair competition. His logic? If they sell more here, we should hit them with tariffs until things even out. It's a tit-for-tat approach. If you tax our goods, we'll tax yours. The hope is that this pressure will force other countries to lower their own barriers, opening up new opportunities for American companies. But this ignores the tangled web of global supply chains. Today, cars aren't just made in one country, they're assembled from parts sourced all over the world. A single vehicle might have an engine from Germany, electronics from Japan, and tires from the US. Tariffs can disrupt this delicate balance, making it harder and more expensive to build anything. Right now, we're facing a July 9th deadline, a possible 50% tariff on EU cars. That's a massive increase, and it's got automakers, dealers, and consumers on edge. The uncertainty alone is enough to make companies rethink investments and hiring plans. That's not a tweak. It's a sledgehammer aimed at German automakers. Companies like BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen could see their US sales plummet overnight. And it's not just the car companies that would feel the pain. Thousands of American workers at dealerships and parts suppliers could be caught in the crossfire. The message: nice car industry you've got. Shame if something happened to it. It's a high-stakes game of economic chicken, with billions of dollars and countless jobs on the line. This is protectionism, building a wall around the economy to shield U.S. industries. The idea is to keep foreign competition out, giving American companies a safe space to grow. But history shows that protectionism often backfires, leading to trade wars and higher costs for everyone. But in a globalized world, those walls send shockwaves everywhere. Supply chains stretch across continents, and a tariff in one country can ripple through factories and showrooms around the globe. No nation is an island when it comes to trade. From German assembly lines to Ohio dealerships, everyone feels the impact. Workers worry about layoffs, businesses brace for lost sales, and consumers face higher prices at every turn. Tariffs don't just target foreign companies, they hit American consumers and workers too. When costs go up, it's families and employees who pay the price, whether it's at the checkout counter or in the form of lost jobs. The result? Higher prices, fewer choices, and a lot of economic pain. What starts as a policy aimed at helping American industry can end up hurting the very people it's supposed to protect. The blast radius of a tariff tantrum is wide. It doesn't just hit one country or one industry, it spreads, affecting everything from jobs to the price of your next car. And as we'll see, no one escapes unscathed. The story of tariffs is never as simple as it seems, and the consequences can be far-reaching and unexpected. German car giants, Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, are global icons, and the US is a key market. But tariffs are hammering them. In April alone, they paid over $570 million just to sell cars in America. That's not a rounding error, it's a gaping wound. The fallout? Less money for innovation, jobs, and expansion, and higher prices for buyers. A 50% tariff could make a $50,000 Audi cost $75,000 overnight. At those prices, buyers walk away, and the American dream for these automakers turns into a nightmare. Tariffs don't just hurt CEOs, they hit workers, consumers, and the entire industry. To dodge steep tariffs and avoid the uncertainty of shifting trade policies, global automakers are rethinking their strategies. The U.S. government's push for domestic manufacturing has made it increasingly risky and expensive to simply ship cars across the ocean. German automakers, in particular, are now eyeing U.S. factories as a way to secure their foothold in the world's second-largest car market. Executives are scouting locations, weighing incentives, and calculating the long-term benefits of building on American soil. BMW and Mercedes have already established a strong presence in the South, where they operate sprawling assembly lines and employ thousands of American workers. These plants have become vital to their global supply chains, producing SUVs and sedans not just for the US, but for export around the world. Now, Audi is considering joining them, with plans for a $4.6 billion plant that could transform a local economy and create thousands of new jobs. The investment would be one of the largest in the company's history. But building a factory from scratch is no small feat. It's a massive, multi-year undertaking that requires not just money, but also a reliable network of suppliers, skilled labor, and infrastructure. The process can take years before a single car rolls off the line. The irony is hard to miss. Tariffs designed to punish foreign companies often end up creating American jobs, though not always for the right reasons. These jobs are born out of necessity, not out of a natural desire to invest. This isn't a quick fix for anyone involved. It's a costly, disruptive shift that can leave factories idle and supply chains tangled as companies scramble to adapt. The global auto industry is being reshaped, not by the invisible hand of the market, but by the heavy hand of political threats and government intervention. Every decision ripples across continents, affecting workers, consumers, and economies. Imagine building a swimming pool in your neighbor's yard. It might sound like a clever workaround, until you realize how much it disrupts the neighborhood, changing the landscape in ways no one expected. Tariffs force change, but rarely deliver the change anyone truly wants. Workers, companies, and communities are all left to deal with the consequences. The stakes are high, the timeline is long, and the outcome is anything but certain. The future of car manufacturing in America hangs in the balance. Tariffs don't just hit companies, they hit your wallet. Higher import taxes mean higher sticker prices at the dealership. Inflation creeps in, making everything more expensive even if you're not buying a German car. Consumer confidence drops as people worry about rising costs and stagnant wages. When people get nervous, they spend less, slowing the economy further. Investment dries up as businesses hate uncertainty. The luxury market shrinks, and the pain spreads beyond car showrooms. Tariffs are a hurricane, not a passing storm. The economic ripple effects are real and growing. Everyone pays the price. German automakers aren't alone. Tariffs are hitting allies everywhere, sending shockwaves through the global economy. What started as a targeted move has quickly spiraled into a worldwide standoff, with every major player feeling the heat. Canada faces steep U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum and retaliates with its own. The result? Higher prices for manufacturers and consumers on both sides of the border, and a growing sense of uncertainty for workers whose jobs depend on cross-border trade. Japan's automakers are bracing for a 25% U.S. tariff, threatening to respond in kind. For companies like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan, the stakes are enormous. Billions of dollars in exports and thousands of jobs hang in the balance. The threat of tit-for-tat tariffs looms large, making long-term planning nearly impossible. It's a global game of chicken, with no clear winner. Each country waits for the other to blink, but the longer the standoff continues, the greater the risk of lasting damage. The risk? A trade war that cripples the entire auto industry. Factories could go idle, dealerships might close, and workers could find themselves out of a job almost overnight. China, meanwhile, is flexing its muscle by restricting exports of rare earth magnets, vital for electric vehicles. This move threatens to choke off the supply of essential components, putting even more pressure on automakers worldwide. US-China trade tensions are squeezing supply chains and raising costs for everyone. Delays at ports, higher shipping fees, and unpredictable regulations are now the new normal for global businesses. Tariffs aren't surgical, they're blunt force trauma. Instead of targeting specific issues, they disrupt entire industries, causing collateral damage that's hard to repair. Every country hit fights back, and the pileup grows. What began as isolated disputes has become a tangled web of retaliation, with no end in sight. The global economy is caught in the crossfire. Stock markets react with volatility. Investors grow wary, and businesses everywhere are forced to rethink their strategies. Trade is a two-way street. Block one lane and everyone gets stuck. No country can escape the gridlock, and the longer it lasts, the harder it is to get moving again. The fallout is global, not just local. No one is immune. From factory workers to CEOs, from small towns to major cities, the impact of this tariff bonanza is being felt everywhere, and the world is left wondering when or if the standoff will end. Automakers are stuck in limbo, waiting to see if tariffs stick or get scrapped. Some, like Audi, consider new US factories, but most are holding off on big moves. Why invest billions when the rules could change with the next election or tweet? Every day of uncertainty bleeds money and raises prices. Companies gamble that politics will shift before the damage is permanent. But hesitation has a cost-stalled investment, lost jobs, and a paralyzed industry. Business needs predictability, not chaos. The waiting game is grinding the global economy to a halt. Can the courts stop these tariffs? Legal challenges argue the president is overreaching, using emergency powers for economic fights. But the legal process is slow. Tariffs stay in place while cases crawl through the courts. Some judges have ruled against the administration, but appeals keep the tariffs alive. Businesses and consumers pay the price now, even if the courts eventually strike them down. The system is stuck in neutral, and the economic pain continues. The balance of power between Congress and the president is being tested. For now, the tariffs roll on, unchecked. China's response to US tariffs? Squeeze the supply of rare earth elements, crucial for electric cars and high-tech manufacturing. China controls most of the world's rare earths, and new export controls have choked off US access. The result, American and German automakers face shortages and higher costs, even if they build cars in the US. Global supply chains are fragile. One move in China can disrupt factories worldwide. Tariffs on one country provoke retaliation from another, creating a web of problems. No automaker is safe from these ripple effects. The trade war is a circular firing squad. Everyone gets hit. As the July 9th deadline looms, the future for German cars, American buyers, and the global economy is murky. Automakers face tough choices: wait for a deal or invest billions to move production. Every option is risky and expensive. For consumers, tariffs mean higher prices and fewer choices. No scenario makes cars cheaper. The lesson? Tariffs are a blunt tool for a complex world. Supply chains, jobs, and investments are all at risk. The pain isn't just for foreign companies, it hits Americans too. Trade wars rarely have winners. The first casualty is often your own economy. And right now, everyone's in the firing line.